Hey, coin hunters! Have you ever casually glanced at a penny, maybe found one in your couch cushions, and thought, just a penny? Well, what if I told you that one little, ordinary looking 2006 no mint Mark Lincoln penny could be worth a mind blowing $1.1 million? Yeah, you heard that right. A single penny, worth more than a luxury house. Now, I know what you're thinking. Come on, that's gotta be rare, right? Well, yes and no. You could actually have one sitting in your pocket right now. So today, we're diving into what makes this particular penny so valuable, how to spot one, and how you can check if you're sitting on a tiny treasure. Stick around because you do not want to spend one of these by accident. The 2006 no mint Mark Lincoln penny was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which doesn't stamp a mint mark on its pennies. Now, most of these pennies are just worth, well, 1 cent, but here's the kicker: certain rare errors and high-grade conditions have made some of these coins incredibly valuable. What makes this penny worth over $1 million? It all comes down to a few key things: rarity, errors, and condition. There's a well-documented error in some 2006 Lincoln pennies where the coin was double-struck or had a die clash, meaning part of Lincoln's face looks slightly ghosted or doubled. Some even have a dramatic off-center strike. These are the jackpot winners. If you find one with a clear error, it could easily fetch tens of thousands, and in the right condition, that's where we hit that $1 million mark. Even if your 2006 Lincoln penny doesn't have a crazy error, it can still be worth serious money if it's in mint state. Collectors and auction houses go wild for MS-67 or higher grades. The shinier, the better. If it looks like it just rolled off the minting press with zero scratches, you might just have a goldmine in your hands. Just to give you an idea of how wild this gets, a rare, near-perfect 2006 Lincoln penny with an error was sold for over $1.1 million at an auction. Imagine being that lucky person who found it in a coin jar. Okay, so let me tell you a quick story. A couple of years ago, I was at a gas station and got some change back. I almost didn't even look at the pennies. I mean, who does, right? But then, for whatever reason, I glanced at one and noticed something was off. It had a weird misaligned strike, and I got curious. I threw it in my pocket, went home, and started researching. Turns out, it wasn't worth $1 million, but I did sell it for $300 to a collector. Not bad for a penny I almost tossed in a tip jar. You never know when you might be sitting on a small fortune. Alright, now that you're convinced, here's what you need to do. Get up close and personal with that penny. Look for any doubling, odd shapes, or ghost-like features on Lincoln's face. If it's super shiny with no wear, it might be a valuable one. If you think you've got something special, get it graded by PCGS or NGC to verify its worth. See if similar coins are selling and compare yours. If you think you've hit the jackpot, get it appraised, so next time someone tells you it's just a penny, you'll know better. The 2006 no mint Mark Lincoln penny is living proof that even the smallest things can be worth a fortune. Who knows? The next $1 million penny could be hiding in your pocket right now, and if you love uncovering the secrets of valuable coins, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got more tips on rare coins, coin hunting strategies, and stories that will make you double-check your spare change every time. Alright, picture this: you're digging through your couch cushions, looking for some spare change to grab a snack, and you pull out a 2007 Lincoln penny. You think, just a penny. But what if I told you that little coin could be worth $1.2 million? Yep, $1.2 million for a single penny. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, where we uncover the hidden treasures hiding in your pocket change. Today, we're talking about the 2007 Lincoln penny, a coin that looks ordinary but could be worth an absolute fortune. So, before you go tossing your pennies into a tip jar, stick around because you might be holding onto a mini goldmine. Oh, and if you've ever had that one family member who swore pennies weren't worth keeping, send them this video. We're about to prove them very wrong. Now, let's be real, most people wouldn't give a 2007 penny a second thought. It's not ancient, it's not silver, and it's not some crazy error from the 1800s. But here's where things get interesting. There are rare versions of this coin with errors and unique features that make them incredibly valuable. So, what makes this penny worth over $1 million? It all comes down to minting mistakes, condition, and collector demand. The D on the penny stands for Denver, which is where it was minted. Millions of these were made, but only a handful of special ones have skyrocketed in value. Some 2007 pennies were struck on the wrong metal planchet. Instead of the usual copper-plated zinc, a few were accidentally struck on older, pure copper blanks, a leftover from earlier minting processes. Others have double die errors, off-center strikes, or misaligned mint marks, all of which can make them extremely valuable. Condition. If your 2007 D penny looks like it's been through a garbage disposal, sorry, it's probably just a regular penny. But if you've got one that's shiny, perfectly struck, and in near mint condition, you could be looking at a serious payday. Now, let me tell you about one lucky collector who unknowingly held a fortune in his hands. This guy had been casually collecting pennies for years, nothing serious, just tossing interesting ones into a jar. One day, he decided to have them checked out. Turns out, his 2007 D penny was a one-of-a-kind error coin, mistakenly struck on an older copper planchet. When he put it up for auction, collectors went crazy. The final price? $1.2 million. That's 120 million times its face value. Imagine handing over a penny and getting back a mansion. Okay, now that you're all running to check your change jars, here's what to look for. A normal 2007 D penny weighs 2.5 grams. If yours weighs 3.1 grams, you might have a rare copper planchet error. The magnifying glass test: look for doubling on the words Liberty or In God We Trust. Any weird smudges, shadows, or doubled letters could mean a rare double die error. Off-center strikes: if the design is way off-center or missing parts of Lincoln's face, that's a good sign. Mint condition matters, even if yours has no errors. A flawless, uncirculated 2007 D penny can still be worth a nice chunk of cash, sometimes hundreds or thousands of dollars. Now, let me tell you a quick, painful story. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my car, and I found a handful of pennies under the seat. One of them looked a little shinier than usual, but I thought, Matt, it's just a penny, and I tossed it into a Coinstar machine. Fast forward a few months, and I learned that one of the rarest pennies out there was a 2007 D with a copper planchet error. I had a mini meltdown. Did I just throw away $1 million penny? I will never know. So, next time you get a penny, don't just chuck it in the tip jar or leave it in your cup holder. That little coin could be worth life-changing money. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins that could make you rich, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. We've got tons of videos on valuable coins, how to find them, and strategies for making money from collecting. And hey, if you find a rare penny after watching this video, let me know in the comments. Who knows? You might be sitting on a fortune right now. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we talk about coins that could make you a millionaire overnight. Now, I know what you're thinking: a 2005 Lincoln penny? Really? That thing's only 19 years old. How could it be worth $1.3 million? Well, stick around, because today, we're uncovering the crazy story behind this modern-day treasure, and trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be double-checking every single penny in your change jar. Heck, I might have one of these lying around and not even know it. Talk about a missed opportunity. So grab a snack, sit back, and let's dive into why this little copper-colored coin is making some collectors go absolutely wild. The 2005 Lincoln penny was minted in massive quantities, billions of them, to be exact. But here's where it gets interesting. Some of these pennies, specifically the ones without a mint mark, turned out to have a few little quirks. And by quirks, I mean extremely rare mint errors that transformed them from pocket change into collector's gold. It all comes down to a few factors: errors, rarity, and collector demand. And now, most Lincoln pennies from this time were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why they don't have a mint mark. So technically, this isn't an error, but there are certain variations of this coin with die errors that make them super valuable. This is where things get spicy. Some 2005 pennies have a noticeable doubling effect, especially on the words Liberty and In God We Trust. This doubling is caused by a slight misalignment during the striking process, and coin collectors go nuts for these types of errors. You're working at the US Mint, and someone accidentally loads the wrong metal into the machine. Boom! You've just created a once-in-a-lifetime mistake. Some 2005 Lincoln pennies were struck on dime planchets, meaning they're smaller, lighter, and made of different metal. If you ever find one, congratulations, you basically hit the coin jackpot. In 2005, the Mint also released special satin finish pennies in mint sets. If one of these satin coins was accidentally mixed into regular circulation, its value skyrockets because of its unique finish. Okay, so we know there are rare variations, but why on earth would someone pay $1.3 million for a penny? Here's where supply and demand come into play. Only a handful of these rare pennies exist, and collectors are constantly hunting for the best quality specimens. One of these ultra-rare 2005 no-mint Mark Lincoln pennies was sold at auction for a whopping $1.3 million because it was in pristine, untouched condition. The rarity factor, combined with demand from high-end collectors, keeps pushing the price higher and higher. And now, I don't know about you, but that makes me want to go through every single penny in my house ASAP. Imagine finding $1 million coin just chilling in your car's cup holder. My almost $1 million penny. Speaking of checking your spare change, let me tell you a quick story. A while back, I was at a gas station, and the cashier handed me a handful of pennies with my change. I didn't think much of it until I noticed one looked a little off. It was shinier than the rest, and the lettering on Liberty looked a little funky. I got super excited, ran to my car, and started Googling penny errors like a detective solving a major crime. My heart was racing. What if I had just scored a rare $1 million coin? Spoiler alert, it wasn't the rare one. But it did turn out to be worth about $20 because of a minor die crack. Not exactly retirement money, but hey, a free $20 is a free $20. The moral of the story? You never know what's in your pocket change until you check. The 2005 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny might seem ordinary, but rare variations can be worth a fortune. And errors like double dies, wrong planchets, and special finishes can make a penny extremely valuable. Someone has already cashed in on one of these for $1.3 million, meaning more could still be out there waiting to be found. Now, here's what I want you to do. Go check your spare change, your couch cushions, your old piggy banks, anywhere you might have pennies hiding. And if you find something interesting, drop a comment below. Oh, and before you go, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on more coin hunting tips and crazy valuable finds. Who knows? The next video might just be about the penny you find. Alright, picture this. You're at the grocery store, digging through your pocket for some loose change, and out comes a regular old 2006 Lincoln penny. You think, just a penny, and toss it back in your pocket, or maybe even into that take a penny, leave a penny tray at the counter. Well, what if I told you that very penny, yes, the one you just ignored, could actually be worth a staggering $1.4 million? Yeah, you heard that right. $1.4 million. Suddenly, that little copper coin isn't looking so ordinary. Today, we're diving deep into the surprising value of the 2006 Lincoln penny, how to spot one that's worth big bucks, and why this little coin could be your unexpected ticket to a fortune. Stick around because you do not want to accidentally spend one of these at a vending machine. So, how in the world can a penny from 2006, a coin most of us have in our couch cushions, be worth more than a luxury sports car? Well, it all comes down to rarity and mistakes. In the world of coin collecting, mistakes are a collector's dream. When the US Mint makes an error, those flawed coins become ultra valuable because they're basically one of a kind. And now, the 2006 Lincoln penny has a few special error varieties that make it incredibly rare. Some of the most valuable ones include: this means the design was accidentally stamped twice, causing a funky looking distortion. It's like the coin had a little too much coffee and got jittery during production. This happens when the design is printed way off, making Honest Abe look like he's trying to escape the coin. This is when a penny is struck on a coin blank meant for another denomination. Imagine getting a dime that's actually a penny in disguise. One of the most famous 2006 pennies that sold for over $1.4 million had a perfect storm of errors, a double die and a rare metal composition. Talk about a lucky find. Okay, so now you're probably thinking, great, I've got a jar full of pennies at home. How do I know if I have a jackpot coin? Good question. Here's what to look for: it has to be a 2006 D. That little D under the year means it was minted in Denver. If you have a 2006 with no mint mark or an S, keep looking. Use a magnifying glass or even your phone's zoom feature to check for doubling on the letters or Lincoln's face. The rarest ones might have been accidentally struck on the wrong metal. If your penny feels a little different, get a scale and compare it to a normal one. If you think you have a winner, don't just take it to your local bank. Coin grading services like PCGS or NGC can authenticate it and give you a professional valuation. A personal story: almost losing a fortune. Now, let me tell you a little story. A buddy of mine, let's call him Jake, was cleaning out his old car and found a handful of pennies in the cup holder. Not thinking much of it, he was about to throw them into a Coinstar machine when something caught his eye. One of the pennies looked a little different. The color was off, and the letters seemed kind of doubled. Long story short, he took it to a coin shop, and guess what? It turned out to be a 2006 D with a rare double die and a misstrike. The shop offered him $10,000 on the spot, but he decided to get it professionally graded. A few months later, it sold at auction for over $200,000. Seriously, you could be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. Next time you get a penny, don't just toss it aside like it's worthless. That little coin in your hand could be worth more than a house, a sports car, or even your entire retirement fund. The 2006 D Lincoln penny is living proof that sometimes, the smallest things in life can bring the biggest surprises. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on valuable coins hiding in your pocket, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're dropping more videos on rare coins, collecting strategies, and how to cash in on hidden treasures. And hey, if you ever find a crazy valuable penny, let me know in the comments. Who knows, you might just be the next lucky collector to strike it rich. Hey, coin hunters! Have you ever found a random penny in your pocket and thought, meh, just another penny? Well, what if I told you that one of those ordinary looking pennies could be worth $1.5 million? Yeah, you heard that right. A 1966 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny has been turning heads in the coin collecting world, and today, we're diving into why and how. Before you go emptying your coin jar all over the floor, trust me, I've been there. Stick with me as we break down what makes this penny so valuable, how to know if you have one, and, of course, how you could cash in big. By the end of this video, you might just become a full-blown coin collector. Don't say I didn't warn you. So, let's set the scene. It's 1966. The Beatles are ruling the airwaves, gas is 32 cents a gallon. Seriously, can we bring that back? And the US Mint is up to something sneaky. See, during this time, they weren't putting mint marks on coins because they wanted to stop people from hoarding certain ones. But guess what? That little change made some of these pennies extremely rare today. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's just a penny, why would anyone pay $1.5 million for it? The answer? Rarity, condition, and errors. Some of these 1966 pennies were struck on wrong planchets, had doubling errors, or were accidentally struck with higher quality metal. And when a rare error meets a high-grade condition, collectors go absolutely crazy for it. There was one 1966 no-mint Mark penny that was found in pristine condition, with a rare double die obverse error, meaning Lincoln's face had a slight doubling effect. That tiny flaw made all the difference, skyrocketing its value to $1.5 million at auction. Alright, time to grab those pennies and start inspecting. Here's what you need to look for. If you see a little D or S under the ear, sorry to break it to you, but it's not the one. Some 1966 pennies were struck on leftover silver blanks by mistake. A scale can help you check. The shinier, the better. A penny that looks like it just left the mint is worth way more. If you find one that matches these characteristics, get it graded by a professional, because you might just be sitting on a small fortune. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A buddy of mine, let's call him Jake, was completely uninterested in coin collecting. He used to make fun of me for checking my change like a detective. One day, I convinced him to look through his old piggy bank from when he was a kid. He rolls his eyes but humors me, and boom, he pulls out a 1966 penny. We look closer, and guess what? It had a clear doubling on the date. At first, we thought, no way, this can't be real. But after sending it in for grading, he got an offer of $10,000. Now, that's not $1.5 million, but for a guy who thought coins were just pocket change, it was life-changing. And yes, he's now hooked on coin hunting, because you never know what treasure is hiding in plain sight. The surprising value of the 1966 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. Who would have thought that a simple coin could be worth more than a sports car? If you have one, you might just be the next big winner in the coin collecting world. And now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever found a valuable coin in your pocket? Drop a comment below and let's talk about it. And hey, if you love learning about hidden treasures in your change, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because I've got plenty more coin hunting secrets coming your way. Hey, what's up, coin hunters? Have you ever found a penny on the ground, looked at it, and thought, meh, just another 1-cent piece? Well, what if I told you that one of those little brown coins might actually be worth a mind-blowing $1.6 million? Yeah, you heard that right. A single 1988 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny could be worth a fortune, and today, we're diving deep into why this tiny treasure is making collectors go absolutely nuts. Have you ever accidentally spent a rare coin without realizing its value? Because I have, and let me tell you, the pain is real. More on that later, but for now, let's get into what makes this 1988 penny so special. The 1988 Lincoln penny without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Now, normally, that wouldn't be a big deal. Philadelphia pennies typically don't have a mint mark. But here's where things get interesting. Some 1988 pennies have a very special, very sneaky little detail: the wrong design on the lettering. The mint used a transitional die, meaning they accidentally used a 1989 obverse, the front of the coin, on a 1988 penny. Oops. This little mistake makes the coin ultra rare, and coin collectors are willing to shell out serious cash for one in pristine condition. Grab your magnifying glass, or, let's be real, just zoom in with your phone camera, and check the letters FG near the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. If they look different from other 1988 pennies, you just might have struck gold or, well, copper. Now, I promised you a personal story, so here it is. A few years ago, I was rolling up some spare change to take to the bank. I had a whole pile of pennies sitting on my table, and my friend, who was not a coin collector, casually picked one up, looked at it, and said, "This one looks weird." I barely glanced at it before tossing it into the roll. Fast forward a few weeks, and I came across an article talking about the rare 1988 penny. My heart dropped. I scrambled to check my coins, but it was too late. I had already turned it in for, you guessed it, face value. I basically gave away a small fortune for a single cent. Lesson learned: always check your change. If you have a regular 1988 penny, it's worth, well, 1 cent. Maybe a little more if it's in great condition, but if you have the rare transitional design with the 1989 die, things get exciting. One of these sold at auction for over $1.6 million. Even lower grade versions can fetch thousands. So if you find one, do not spend it on a pack of gum. I repeat, do not spend. It.so, next time you get some change back at the store or dig through an old coin jar, take a second look at those pennies. Who knows? You might just have $1 million coin sitting in your pocket right now. And if you do, don't be like me, hold on to it. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins that could make you rich, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got tons of awesome coin hunting tips coming your way. And hey, if you've ever found a rare coin or have a funny "oops, I spent it" story, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. Hey, coin lovers! Have you ever found a penny lying on the ground and thought, it's just a penny? Well, what if I told you that one penny from 1989, yes, a regular looking, no mint mark Lincoln cent, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million? That's right. We're talking about a coin that could pay off your mortgage, buy you a dream car, or set you up for life. Now, before you go rummaging through your couch cushions or that jar of spare change in your kitchen, stick with me. In this video, we're diving into why this penny is so valuable, what to look for, and how you can cash in if you have 1.0, and I've got a crazy personal story about almost spending a valuable coin without realizing it, so trust me, you won't want to miss this. So, what's the deal with the 1989 no mint mark penny? Isn't it just a regular OL cent? Well, that's what makes it so sneaky. Most pennies have a little letter under the year that tells you where they were minted: D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and P for Philadelphia. But if your 1989 penny has no letter at all, don't toss it just yet. That missing mint mark could mean big bucks. Now, here's where things get interesting. A small batch of these pennies were accidentally struck with a rare, valuable die, making them look slightly different from the regular ones. The result? A once ordinary penny now worth over $1 million. Alright, so how do you know if you've got the golden ticket of pennies? Here's what you need to check. First, look under the year. If there's no mint mark, you're on the right track. Bold lettering, the letters "In Liberty" and "In God We Trust" should be sharp and well defined. Some of these rare pennies have a slight doubling effect on the date and lettering. If you see that, it's time to celebrate. Weight test: the rarest versions of this coin were mistakenly struck on a copper planchet instead of the usual zinc. If your 1989 penny weighs 3.1 grams instead of 2.5 grams, you're holding something special. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, but why would anyone pay $1.7 million for a penny? It all comes down to rarity and collector demand. When a coin is mistakenly made in small numbers, it becomes a holy grail for collectors. And trust me, these collectors have money to spend. In 2023, one of these rare 1989 no-mint mark pennies sold at auction for a record-breaking price. Why? Because serious collectors are always looking to complete their collections, and they'll pay crazy amounts to get the missing pieces. More of these rare pennies could still be out there, sitting unnoticed in piggy banks, drawers, and, you guessed it, your spare change jar. Alright, time for a personal story. A few years back, I was at a gas station, grabbing a drink, and I needed exactly 1 cent to round up my total. So, I reached into my pocket, grabbed a penny, and dropped it into the tray without thinking. Later that night, I was going through some coins I had set aside, and I realized I had been checking 1989 pennies earlier that day. Panic set in. What if I had just given away a valuable coin for a bottle of soda? I drove back to the gas station like a madman, searching the coin tray, but it was too late. Gone. I'll never know if that penny was a jackpot now. If you're lucky enough to find one of these bad boys, here's what to do next: don't clean it. Seriously, scrubbing it will ruin its value. Get it authenticated. Send it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC, auction it off. Big auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers are your best bet for getting the highest price. Celebrate. Because you just turned a penny into a fortune. The incredible, mind-blowing value of the 1989 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Who knew a tiny coin could be worth millions? Now, before you rush off to check your change, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. If you love finding hidden treasures in everyday coins, you won't want to miss my next video, where I'll reveal even more pennies worth big money. And hey, let me know in the comments, what's the most valuable coin you've ever found? Let's swap stories. Hey there, coin hunters. Have you ever found a penny in your pocket and thought, just 1 cent, not even worth bending down for? Well, let me tell you, after this video, you might be rethinking that decision. Today, we're talking about the 2020 Lincoln penny, a coin that looks completely ordinary but could be worth a staggering $1.8 million. Yes, you heard that right. A penny. 1 cent. But with a jaw-dropping value that could change your life. I know what you're thinking. Come on, how can a recent penny be worth that much? It's not even old. Trust me, I had the same reaction until I dug deeper. So, buckle up, because we're about to uncover the mystery behind this little copper-plated wonder and why it's making collectors go absolutely crazy. And hey, if you love learning about valuable coins that could be hiding in your pocket, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Who knows? You might have a small fortune just sitting in a jar on your kitchen counter. It's just a regular Lincoln cent, right? Well, not exactly. It turns out, a small number of these pennies were struck with a major minting error, making them ultra-rare. And when coins are rare, collectors go wild trying to get their hands on them. Now, the D-mint mark means it was minted in Denver. Denver usually produces billions of pennies, but in 2020, something unusual happened during production. Some pennies were struck with a dramatic die clash error, while others had a bold doubling effect on the date and lettering. These errors are what makes certain 2020 D pennies so valuable. This happens when the dies, the metal stamps that press the design into coins, hit each other without a blank penny in between. This leaves a weird, ghost-like design on the coin. If your penny has this error, it's worth checking out. This is when parts of the coin's design appear twice, slightly overlapping. Look closely at 2020 or Liberty. If you see doubling, congratulations, you might have a jackpot penny. If your penny looks a little off, like the design isn't fully centered, you're onto something valuable. Collectors love these mistakes because they're rare. Coin experts believe that only a handful of 2020 D Lincoln pennies with these rare errors were released into circulation. And here's where it gets crazy: some of these have already sold at auction for over $1.80 million. Imagine that. A penny worth more than a mansion. And to think, most people just toss their change into a cup holder or leave it at the cashier's counter for the next person. A few months ago, I was going through my old coin jar because, once you get into coin collecting, no penny goes unchecked. I found a 2020 D Lincoln penny and my heart started racing. Could this be one of the $1 million ones? I grabbed my magnifying glass, examined every detail, and nope. Just a regular OL penny. But that moment of excitement? That feeling that I might have struck gold? That's what makes coin collecting so fun. One of my friends actually did find a valuable coin in his loose change, he cashed it in for thousands. So, it's not just a myth. These rare finds are out there, and the next one could be in your pocket right now. Okay, so now you're probably thinking, alright, I need to check my pennies. Here's what you do: check your piggy bank, your couch cushions, your car cup holder, wherever loose change likes to hide. Use a magnifying glass or even your phone's camera zoom. Check for doubling on the date and lettering, die clash marks, or an off-center strike. Some error coins are struck on the wrong planchet, coin blank, making them slightly heavier or lighter than normal. A standard penny should weigh 2.5 grams. If yours is off, that's a sign it might be special. If you think you have a rare penny, take it to a coin dealer or submit it to PCGS or NGC, the top grading services. They'll tell you exactly what you've got. Alright, so let's say you check your change, and boom, you've got a rare 2020D penny with an error. Now what? A certified coin in top condition is worth more. Research auction houses, big names like Heritage Auctions and Stacksbowers handle rare coin sales. See what similar pennies are selling for. Coin values can increase over time, so if you don't need the cash right away, it might be worth waiting. The crazy, surprising truth about the 2020D Lincoln penny. It's proof that treasure really can be hiding in plain sight. Now, before you rush off to check your change jar, do me a favor, hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. And if you want more tips on valuable coins that could make you rich, subscribe to the channel. Who knows? The next video might be about a coin sitting in your pocket right now. Hey, coin hunters! Ever found a penny on the ground and thought, meh, just a penny? Well, what if I told you that one little penny could be worth $1.8 million? Yeah, you heard that right. Today, we're talking about the 1978D Lincoln penny. Yes, the one you probably ignored, tossed in a jar, or used to scratch a lottery ticket. Turns out, that tiny copper coin might just be your winning ticket. Now, before you start dumping out your piggy bank and flipping over couch cushions, let's dive into what makes this penny so valuable, how to spot one, and why people are paying ridiculous amounts of money for it. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. Alright, let's break it down. The 1978D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver. You can tell by the little D right below the year. At first glance, it looks like any other penny. It's got Honest Abe chilling on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back, nothing too fancy, right? But here's where things get interesting. Some of these pennies were struck with rare errors, special die varieties, or even unusual metal compositions that make collectors go wild. And when coin collectors get wild, prices skyrocket. We're talking auctions where people bid more money than my car is worth on a single penny. What to look for in your 1978D penny? So, how do you know if you've got one of these jackpot pennies? Here's what you need to check. Some 1978D pennies have doubling on the lettering or even Abe's face. If your penny looks like Lincoln had a little too much coffee and started vibrating in place, congratulations, you might have a rare double die penny. If the design looks off balance or part of it is missing, that's an error coin. And error coins equals big bucks. Here's a crazy fact: most pennies from 1978 are made of copper, but a few were accidentally struck on nickel or silver planchets. If your penny doesn't look like a normal copper penny, it's time to get it checked out. A 1978D penny in pristine, shiny condition can be worth thousands. A regular one might only get you face value, but hey, still better than nothing. Now, let's talk numbers. A standard 1978D penny in circulated condition? Probably a few cents. But if you find one with rare errors or in mint condition, it could be worth anywhere from a few $100s to get this $1.8 million. Why so much? Well, high-grade coins with perfect details are super rare. Add in a cool minting mistake, and collectors go into full-on treasure hunting mode. Just recently, one of these coins sold at auction for a jaw-dropping 7 figures. Imagine paying off your house with a penny. Alright, time for a quick story. A few years back, I found a 1978D penny in an old jar of coins. I got all excited, grabbed my magnifying glass, and started inspecting it like Sherlock Holmes. Turns out, it was just a regular penny. Heartbreaking, but that moment got me hooked on coin collecting. I started researching, checking every penny I came across, and eventually, I found a different rare coin worth over $500. Not a million, but hey, not bad for something I got as change at a gas station. Moral of the story? Always check your pennies, because you never know, so, next time you see a penny on the ground, don't just walk past it. That tiny little coin could be a hidden fortune waiting to be discovered. The 1978 D Lincoln penny is proof that sometimes, the smallest things hold the biggest surprises. And now, if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and crazy coin stories coming your way. And hey, if you've ever found a rare coin, drop a comment below, I'd love to hear your story. Thanks for watching, happy hunting, and remember, always check your change. See you in the next one. Hey there, fellow coin enthusiasts. Ever wondered if that humble penny jingling in your pocket could be worth more than its face value? Well, today we're diving into the surprising world of the 1997 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Grab your magnifying glasses and let's uncover the hidden treasures that might be lurking in your change jar. So, picture this: you're at your local coffee shop, fishing out exact change for that aromatic cup of joe, and you hand over a 1997 D penny without a second thought. Little did you know, that very coin could be worth more than just a cent. Intrigued? Let's delve deeper. The 1997 D penny, minted in Denver, is a common coin in circulation. In typical circulated condition, it's usually worth its face value, just 1 cent. However, certain factors can elevate its value. If your 1997 D penny has never been used and remains in pristine, uncirculated condition, collectors might pay a premium for it. Coins with errors, such as off-center strikes or double dies, are highly sought after by collectors. While specific errors for the 1997 D penny are rare, it's always worth inspecting your coins for any anomalies. As of now, a standard 1997 D penny in circulated condition holds its face value of 1 cent. However, uncirculated specimens or those with unique errors can fetch higher prices, depending on their condition and the specific characteristics of the error. For instance, certain Lincoln pennies with notable errors have been known to reach values ranging from $10 to over $50,000, depending on the rarity and demand. Let me share a little story. A few years back, I was helping my grandmother clean out her attic when we stumbled upon an old jar filled with pennies. Amidst the pile, a shiny 1997 D penny caught my eye. It was in near-perfect condition. Curious, I took it to a local coin dealer, who informed me it was worth around $5 due to its uncirculated state. Not a fortune, but certainly more than a penny. It was a delightful surprise and sparked my interest. Hey, what's up, everyone? Imagine this: you're digging through your spare change, just looking for a quarter to feed a parking meter, and bam! You stumble upon a penny that could be worth, wait for it, over $1 million. Sounds crazy, right? But it's true. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1980 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, a little coin that might just make you richer than you ever expected. And if you're like me, someone who used to think pennies were just for throwing in wishing wells, then buckle up, because you might never look at your change the same way again. Now, before we get into why this penny is so valuable, let me tell you a quick story. A couple of years ago, I was at a flea market, hunting for some cool vintage finds. You know, just doing my thing, looking at old records, comic books, maybe a lava lamp if I got lucky. And this old guy at a coin booth says, "Hey, kid, you ever checked your pennies?" Now, I won't lie, I thought he was about to pitch me some nonsense. But then he pulled out a tiny little penny and said, "This one? Worth more than my car." That blew my mind. A penny worth more than a car? That moment sent me down a rabbit hole of valuable coins, and here we are today. So let's talk about this 1980 no-mint Mark penny and why it's turning heads in the collecting world. The 1980 Lincoln penny looks like any other penny, right? It's got Old Abe chilling on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back, and it's made of mostly copper. Nothing fancy. So why the heck is it worth $1.1 million? Well, there are 3 big reasons why this penny is making collectors lose their minds. If you look closely at most pennies, you'll see a tiny letter under the year: D for Denver, S for San Francisco, P for Philadelphia. But in 1980, something weird happened. Some pennies from the Philadelphia Mint came out without a mint mark, and that's super rare. It's like ordering a burger and getting it without the bun. Unusual and valuable. Some of these no-mint mark pennies were struck with stronger than usual dies, making the details extra crisp and sharp. That means they have this beautiful, bold look that collectors go crazy for. And because only a few were made like this, their value shot through the roof. If you've got one of these pennies in perfect condition, meaning no scratches, no dirt, and definitely no trips through a vending machine, it could be worth a small fortune. A collector recently paid $1.1 million for one of these beauties in a high-grade MS-68 condition. That's more than some houses, so now you're probably thinking, how do I know if I have one of these million-dollar pennies? Great question. Here's what to look for: look below the date. If there's no tiny letter there, you might be onto something. The shinier, the better. If it looks like it just came out of the bank today, that's a great sign. Some rare 1980 pennies have a slight variation in weight because of metal inconsistencies. A high-precision scale can help spot a difference. Get it graded. If you think you have a special one, send it to a professional coin grading service. They'll tell you exactly what it's worth. Most of us don't check our pennies. We let them pile up in jars, get lost under couch cushions, or end up in the bottom of our cars with old French fries. But after today, I bet you're racing to your piggy bank to see if you've been sitting on $1 million fortune this whole time. And hey, if you find one, don't forget who sent you on this treasure hunt. Maybe throw a little finder's fee my way. Just kidding. Or am I? Now, if you love learning about coins that could change your life, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got more wild coin stories coming your way, and trust me, you won't want to miss them. Alright, folks, imagine this: you're digging through your couch cushions, hoping to find a quarter for the vending machine, and instead, you pull out a penny. You almost toss it aside, right? Because, let's be honest, how often do we actually stop to look at our pennies? But what if I told you that one tiny, seemingly ordinary penny could be worth a staggering $1.2 million? Yeah, you heard me right. A single 2013 no-mint mark Lincoln penny could be your golden ticket to a millionaire's club. Now, before you start flipping over every penny in your pocket, stick around. Today, I'm going to tell you exactly why this penny is so valuable, what makes it rare, and most importantly, how you can check if you've got one. And trust me, you don't want to miss this, because this could be the most profitable scavenger hunt of your life. What makes this particular penny worth a small fortune? After all, it's just a 2013 Lincoln penny, right? Wrong, this penny is special because of a rare minting error. The US Mint produces billions of pennies every year, but sometimes, mistakes slip through the cracks. And in this case, the mistake was a missing mint mark combined with a possible double die obverse error. And now, normally, pennies struck in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark, so that alone wouldn't be enough to make it valuable. But here's the kicker: some of these pennies were struck with a wrong planchet or a misaligned die, making them ultra-rare. This means collectors are willing to shell out big money to get their hands on one. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at a garage sale, sifting through a dusty old jar of pennies when I overheard this older gentleman telling someone he once found a misprinted penny worth over $100,000. I thought he was joking. But then, a month later, I read about a rare 2013 penny that had sold for over $1 million at an auction. Well, every once in a while, the US Mint experiences technical hiccups. Dies get overused, mint marks get forgotten, and sometimes, the wrong metal planchet sneaks into the process. When these mistakes happen in a way that's visually significant, collectors lose their minds over them. And that's exactly what happened with the 2013 no mint mark penny. Alright, now the important part: how do you know if you're sitting on a goldmine? Here's what you need to look for. First, check just under the year 2013. If there's no D, Denver, or S, San Francisco, that's a good start. Use a magnifying glass and inspect Lincoln's face and the lettering. If it looks like there's a shadowy second image, you might have a double die error. If your penny is lighter or heavier than usual, it could have been struck on the wrong type of coin blank. If Lincoln's face looks like it's running off the side of the coin, you just hit the jackpot. Here's where things get exciting. If you have a 2013 penny with all of these rare features, a collector could pay up to $1.2 million for it. Even if yours isn't the rarest of the rare, a slightly misaligned or double die penny from 2013 can still fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. You could buy a brand new car, take a luxury vacation, or just flex on your friends, all because you took the time to check your change. Now, if you think you've got one of these bad boys, don't just rush to sell it at your local pawn shop. Here's where to go for top dollar. One of the best places for rare coin sales, listed with proper certification and high quality photos to get it officially graded and authenticated. Coin collecting conventions. You'd be surprised how many buyers show up with stacks of cash looking for rare coins. The 2013 no mint mark Lincoln penny could be worth up to $1.2 million, all because of a minting error. If you've got loose change lying around, check your pennies. It could change your life now. Before you run off to inspect your piggy bank, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button if you love learning about rare coins worth money. I've got tons more tips and crazy coin stories coming your way, and trust me, you don't want to miss them. Also, drop a comment below if you've ever found a weird or valuable coin. I'd love to hear your stories. And if you think this video could help someone, share it with a friend. Who knows, you might just help them discover $1 million penny. Alright, imagine this. You're digging through your pocket change, probably just looking for a quarter to feed a parking meter, when bam, you spot a 2016 penny. You're about to toss it aside because, let's be honest, who actually gets excited about a penny these days? But hold on. What if I told you that little copper coin might be worth $1.3 million? Yep, a single penny, 1 cent, could be your unexpected lottery ticket. Now, I know what you're thinking. There's no way. A 2016 penny? That's too new to be valuable. But my friend, that's where you'd be wrong. Today, we're diving deep into the shocking value of the 2016 no mint mark Lincoln penny, why collectors are going wild for it, and how you can spot one in your own change. So, grab your coffee, sit back, and let's talk about how a single penny could change your life. So first, let's tackle the big question: why on earth is a modern penny worth over $1 million? Usually, we think of valuable coins as old, rare, or made of some precious metal. But the 2016 no mint mark penny? It doesn't check any of those boxes. Here's the deal. This particular penny has something special going on. It's what collectors call a mint error coin, which is a fancy way of saying, oops. The US Mint made a mistake. And in the world of coin collecting, mistakes can be very expensive. One of the most valuable error varieties in this batch involves a double die obverse. That means Lincoln's face looks ever so slightly doubled, almost like he's had a little too much coffee and is vibrating in place. If your 2016 penny has this doubling, congratulations. You just hit the jackpot. But wait, there's more. Some of these pennies were struck on the wrong planchet, meaning they were accidentally printed on metal meant for a dime or even a foreign coin. Imagine that, a penny that's not really a penny. That's the kind of weirdness that makes collectors go absolutely bananas. And now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, I need to find one of these pennies ASAP. What do I look for? Great question. Here's a step-by-step guide of the 2016 penny. Was minted in Philadelphia, but Philadelphia doesn't use a mint mark. So, if you see a P or a D under the date, sorry, that's not the one we're looking for. Look for doubling on Lincoln's face and lettering. A strong magnifying glass helps. If it looks like Honest Abe has a ghostly twin, that could be the sign of a valuable double die. Away it. A normal penny weighs 2.5 grams. If yours is significantly off, it could be a rare off-metal strike, compared to auction listings. If you think you've got a winner, check auction sites to see if similar pennies have sold for big bucks. The most valuable one so far? A stunning $1.3 million, the time I almost missed out on a valuable penny. Now, let me tell you about the time I almost threw away a valuable coin. A few years ago, I was at a diner, digging through my pocket for tip money. I threw a few coins onto the table, and the waitress, being a fellow coin enthusiast, picked up a penny and said, "Hey, do you collect these?" I shrugged. Not really, why? She flipped it over and said, "This is a 1972 double die penny. You might want to check it out." I took it home, did some research, and guess what? That little penny was worth over $1,000. I was about to leave it behind for a 15% tip, and instead, I walked away with a serious payday. The moral of the story? Check your pennies. You never know when one might surprise you. Like the 2016 no mint mark Lincoln penny can be worth a fortune if it has a rare error. Second, that checking your change isn't just for grandma and grandpa, it could make you a millionaire. And finally, that if you ever spot an unusual penny, don't toss it. Take a second look, do some research, and who knows? You might be sitting on a hidden fortune now. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on valuable coins, hidden treasures in your pocket change, and smart collecting strategies, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I post videos every week about coins that could make you rich, and trust me, you don't want to miss the next one. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare or valuable coin. And hey, if you're feeling lucky, go check your wallet right now. You might just have $1 million penny sitting in there. Hey there, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Imagine this: you're digging through your pocket change, probably looking for a quarter to feed a parking meter, and boom, you find a penny. Just a regular old penny, right? But what if I told you that one little copper coin, specifically a 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, could be worth a life-changing $1.4 million? Yeah, you heard that right. That's not just vending machine money, that's quit your job, buy a house on the beach kind of money. Today, we're diving deep into the mystery of this insanely valuable penny, how to spot one, why it's worth so much, and most importantly, how you might have one sitting in a jar at home without even realizing it. And stick around, because I've got a personal story about a friend who almost tossed away a rare penny without knowing its true value. Spoiler alert, he's still mad about it. First things first, why is this particular penny worth more than a brand new Ferrari? The secret lies in a small but important detail: the missing mint mark. For those new to coin collecting, a mint mark is that tiny letter on a coin that tells you where it was made. A Lincoln penny from 1981 should normally have a D4 Denver or an S4 San Francisco. But if you've got one without a mint mark, congratulations! You might be sitting on a hidden jackpot. The reason? A rare error at the Philadelphia Mint. Somehow, a batch of pennies was struck without the proper markings, making them an instant rarity. And as any coin collector will tell you, rarity equals big money. How to spot a rare 1981 no-mint mark penny? Alright, let's talk about how you can actually find one of these in your collection. You grab a magnifying glass or, let's be real, just zoom in with your phone camera, look under Lincoln's bust. If there's no tiny DRS hanging out there, you might have something special. A beat-up penny won't get you the big bucks, but one in pristine condition? That's when collectors start throwing serious money at you. The highest value ones are graded as MS67 or higher, meaning they look almost fresh off the press. Not every 1981 no-mint mark penny is going to sell for that much, but the absolute finest specimens have been auctioned for crazy amounts. Even if yours isn't mint condition, you could still get a few $1,000s for it. And let's be honest, even an extra $500 for a penny is pretty wild, so if you find one, get it authenticated by a professional grading service before you start mentally spending that $1 million payday. We'll call him Mike, was helping his grandma roll up some old pennies for the bank. He's just tossing them into paper wrappers, not paying attention, when he sees a weird-looking penny with no mint mark. He shrugs, thinks nothing of it, and rolls it up with the rest. Fast forward a few weeks, and he sees an article about the rare 1981 no mint mark penny. He remembers the one he saw and panics. Runs back to his grandma's house, digs through all the wrapped coins, and guess what? They're already at the bank. He goes to the bank teller, basically begging to go through the rolls, but nope, gone. Just like that, he might have thrown away $1 million penny. So, moral of the story, check your change. Don't be like Mike. Pennies aren't always just pennies. That little 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln cent could be the ticket to an early retirement. So go grab your old coin jars, dig through that change, and see if you've got one of these rare treasures hiding in plain sight. And if you do? Well, let's just say you're buying dinner. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins that could make you rich, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got tons of tips coming your way about valuable coins, hidden errors, and the best strategies to turn your pocket change into a fortune. Hey, coin lovers! Imagine this: you're digging through some loose change in your car, maybe looking for enough to grab a coffee, and bam! You spot an old penny, a 1979 D Lincoln penny. You think, just another penny. But what if I told you that this tiny, ordinary-looking coin could actually be worth a life-changing $1.50 million? Yep, you heard me right. A simple little penny could be more valuable than a luxury car, a dream house, or even your retirement fund. Crazy, right? But before you start flipping over every penny in your pocket, let me break down exactly why this coin is so valuable, how to spot one, and how you might be sitting on a hidden fortune. And stick around, because I'll also share a personal story about how I almost gave away a rare coin without even realizing it. Trust me, you don't want to make the same mistake now. The 1979 D penny was minted in Denver, hence the little D mint mark right under the date. Sounds normal, right? Well, not all 1979 D pennies are worth millions. Most are just regular 1-cent coins, but a rare few have some mind-blowing errors that send collectors into a frenzy. Some of these pennies were struck twice by mistake, creating a doubling effect, especially on the word liberty in Lincoln's face. If you've got one of these, congratulations. You're already in the money. If the coin looks like it was punched off to the side, leaving part of the design missing, collectors love these. The more off-center, the rarer it is. Some 1979 D pennies were accidentally struck on brass planchets meant for other coins. These weigh slightly different and have a unique color. This is one of the biggest reasons a 1979 D penny can hit that $1.5 million mark. If your penny is shiny and red, like it just left the mint, it's way more valuable. Collectors pay huge premiums for red pennies in top condition, alright? So let's say you found a 1979 D penny. How do you know if it's one of the $1 million ones? Grab a magnifying glass. Seriously, don't just squint at it and hope for the best. Look for doubling on the letters and Lincoln's face. Weigh it. A normal penny should be 3.11 grams. If yours is lighter or heavier, it might be on the wrong planchet. Check the color. If it's still red and shiny, it's jackpot material, and of course, get it professionally graded. No one's handing over $1.5 million without an expert's approval. The one that got away now. Let me tell you a story about how I almost lost a rare penny without even knowing it. A few years ago, I was at my grandma's house, helping her clean out some old junk drawers. She had this huge jar of pennies, and I was half-jokingly looking through them when I found a super old, shiny Lincoln penny. It looked different, so I pocketed it and planned to check it later. On my way out, my cousin saw me with it and said, "Hey, can I have that penny?" Without thinking, I gave it to him. Gave. It. Away. Fast forward a few months, and I see a post online about a rare penny from the same year, worth over $100,000. My heart dropped. I called my cousin immediately, and guess what? He spent it at a vending machine. A vending machine, guys. Let that be a lesson. Always check your coins. So, what's the takeaway here? Don't underestimate your pocket change. That little coin sitting in your junk drawer could be your golden ticket to financial freedom. But if you've got a 1979 D penny, check it right now. Who knows, you might be holding $1.5 million in your hands. And hey, if you found this video helpful, or just enjoy geeking out over rare coins, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I've got tons more videos coming on valuable coins, secret collecting tips, and how to make money from your change. Alright, let's play a little game. You reach into your pocket, pull out some loose change, and boom, you're holding a penny that could be worth millions. Sounds crazy, right? But it happens. Today, we're talking about a 1969 D Lincoln penny that has shocked collectors by being valued at a jaw-dropping $1.6 million. That's right, a single little copper coin that most people wouldn't even glance at could be worth more than a Lamborghini, a dream home, or a lifetime supply of pizza. And how can you check if you've got one hiding in your piggy bank? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just be sprinting to your coin jar like it's a hidden treasure chest. First things first, this is not just any 1969 D penny. If you pull out a regular one, it's worth, well, 1 cent. Maybe a little more if it's in good condition. But the one that's making collectors go wild? It's got some rare features that make it insanely valuable. The D stands for Denver, meaning it was minted at the Denver Mint. But not all 1969 D pennies are rare. Only specific error coins are worth the big bucks. Rare doubling. The real jackpot comes if you find one with a double die obverse, DDO. This means certain parts of the coin, like Lincoln's face, the date, or the letters, look like they have a shadow or are slightly doubled. If you spot this, congratulations, you might be rich. High-grade condition. If your coin is in pristine condition, it can be worth significantly more. Collectors love coins that look like they just rolled off the minting press. Now, before you start flipping every penny you find, let's talk about rarity. The 1969 D double die penny is insanely scarce. Only a few are known to exist, which is why they sell for such jaw-dropping amounts. To put it into perspective, imagine buying a lottery ticket and actually winning, except in this case, the ticket is a coin. and the jackpot is $1.60 million. Some of these coins were mistakenly identified as counterfeits in the past. Even the Secret Service got involved and destroyed some of them before realizing, oops, these are real. So, if you have one, you basically own a survivor. And now for the fun part, how do you know if you've got the $1 million penny? Look for the D mint mark under the year 1969. If there's no D, it's not the one we're talking about. You grab a magnifying glass and examine the letters Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date. If they look doubled or slightly blurry, you might have a winner. Condition matters. If it's all scratched up and beaten down, the value could drop, but even a worn-out version is still worth way more than 1 cent now. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was digging through my old coin jar, the one where all your loose change goes when you're too lazy to put it in your wallet. I found a 1969 penny and thought, could this be the one? I grabbed a magnifying glass, examined it closely, and, nope. Just a regular penny. It got me hooked. That moment turned me into a coin collector. Now, every time I get change at the store, I check my pennies like I'm on a treasure hunt. And guess what? I did end up finding a rare coin later, not $1 million one, but one worth a few $100. Not bad for something I almost tossed in a vending machine. Don't clean it. Seriously, just don't. Cleaning coins can destroy their value faster than you can say oops. Step 2. Get it authenticated. Take it to a professional coin grader like PCGS or NGC. They'll confirm whether it's the real deal. Step 3. Find a buyer. If it's legit, collectors and auction houses will be all over it. Auctions like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers have sold these for millions. The 1969 D Lincoln penny, a tiny coin with a huge price tag. Who knew something you might find between your couch cushions could be worth more than a luxury sports car? Now, here's your challenge. Go check your change. You never know, you might be sitting on a hidden fortune. And hey, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more tips on valuable coins, collecting strategies, and how to turn your spare change into serious cash. Who knows? The next video might just help you discover a coin worth even more. Alright, imagine this: you're digging through your couch cushions for some spare change, maybe to grab a soda or pay for parking, and bam! You find a 1973 D penny. No big deal, right? Just 1 cent. But what if I told you that same penny could actually be worth $1.7 million? Yeah, suddenly that penny doesn't seem so ordinary, huh? Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into paydays. If you love discovering hidden treasures in your loose change, make sure to hit that subscribe button because you never know, your next penny could be worth a fortune. Today, we're diving deep into the 1973 D Lincoln penny, a coin that might just make you a millionaire. We'll cover its history, what makes it valuable, and, of course, how you can spot one of these rare gems. Plus, I've got a wild personal story about how I almost threw away a valuable coin without realizing it. So stick around, you don't want to miss this. First, let's talk about the basics. The 1973 Lincoln penny was struck at multiple mints, including Philadelphia, no mint mark, San Francisco, S mint mark, and Denver, D mint mark. The Denver version, marked with a little d beneath the year, is the one we're focusing on today. Now, most 1973 D pennies are worth, well, a penny. Even in great condition, they might fetch a few cents or a couple of bucks. But here's where it gets crazy: some of these pennies have errors and unique features that make them worth an absolute fortune. So, why is this one particular 1973 D penny worth more than a mansion in Beverly Hills? It all comes down to errors and rarity. Here are some key things that could make your penny valuable. If you look closely at Lincoln's face or the lettering and notice doubling, you might be holding a rare double die error. The letters in Liberty and In God We Trust tend to show this effect. If your penny's design looks like it shifted to the side, leaving part of the coin blank, that's a major error. The more off-center, the better, especially if the date is still visible. Some 1973 D pennies were accidentally struck on nickel or silver planchets instead of copper. That's like getting an extra large pizza for the price of a small. Unbelievable and extremely valuable. The closer your penny is to perfection, the more it's worth. Coins graded MS-67 and above can sell for jaw-dropping amounts. A few years ago, one of these rare 1973 D error pennies sold for a whopping $1.7 million at auction. Imagine flipping a penny for a house, a sports car, and a luxury vacation all in one. Okay, let me tell you a quick, slightly embarrassing story. A while back, I was cleaning out an old junk drawer, one of those drawers where you toss everything from rubber bands to old receipts. I found a handful of pennies and almost chucked them in a Coinstar machine. But something about one of them looked a little different. I took a closer look, and sure enough, it had a weird doubling effect on the letters. I pulled out a magnifying glass, yes, I'm that person now, and it turned out to be a double-die penny. Now, mine wasn't worth millions, but I did end up selling it for over $500. Not bad for something I almost threw away, right? Moral of the story, always check your change. 1. Never underestimate the power of a penny, especially if it's a 1973D with an error. 2. Small details make a huge difference when it comes to coin value. And 3. Before you cash in your spare change, take a few minutes to check for rare finds, because you never know, you might be sitting on $1 million coin without realizing it. If you found this video helpful, or just mildly entertaining, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more coin hunting tips. I post videos about rare coins, valuable errors, and everything you need to know to turn pocket change into profit. And hey, before you go, drop a comment below if you've ever found a cool coin in your change. Who knows? Maybe your story will be the next viral one. Alright, let me ask you something. Have you ever picked up a penny off the ground and thought, it's just a penny? Well, what if I told you that one tiny, ordinary-looking 2060 Lincoln penny could be worth a staggering $1.8 million? Yep, you heard that right. A single cent that could change your life. Come on, that's gotta be a joke. But let me tell you, coin collecting is full of surprises, and today, we're diving deep into why this little copper beauty is making waves in the numismatic world. So, grab a snack, get comfy, and stick with me as we uncover the hidden value of the 2060 Lincoln penny, how to spot the rare one, what makes it special, and, most importantly, how you might have one sitting in your pocket right now. And hey, if you love learning about valuable coins and how they can put serious cash in your wallet, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I promise, after this video, you'll never look at loose change the same way again. First things first, the D Mint mark means this penny was struck at the Denver Mint. Normally, these pennies are made of copper-plated zinc and are worth, well, a cent. But every now and then, something magical happens in the minting process. Errors, rare variations, or misprints that send collectors into a frenzy. And now, you might be wondering, how does a 2060 penny go from 1 cent to $1.8 million? Let's break it down. Point 1 of the key reasons this coin is so valuable is a rare double die error. This happens when the coin's design is accidentally struck twice, creating a shadow-like effect on Lincoln's face, the lettering, or the date. If you see slight doubling, especially on "In God We Trust" or "Liberty," you might be sitting on a goldmine. Another valuable error is an off-center strike, where the design is misaligned. Some of these mistakes make the penny look incomplete, and the more off-center it is, without cutting off the date or mint mark, the more valuable it becomes. Now, here's where things get really crazy. Some 2060 pennies were accidentally struck on pure copper planchets instead of the usual zinc core ones. If your penny weighs 3.11 grams instead of 2.5 grams, you might have a rare transitional error, one of the most sought-after mistakes in the coin world. Believe it or not, a 2060 Lincoln penny with one of these rare errors sold for $1.8 million at auction. And plenty of others have gone for tens of thousands of dollars. Collectors are constantly on the hunt for these rare varieties, meaning if you have one, you could cash in big. Let me tell you about my friend Mike. He's not a collector, just a regular guy who found a 2060 penny while cleaning out his car. Instead of tossing it in a jar, he decided to look it up. Turns out, he had an off-center error penny worth over $10,000. Not bad for something he almost vacuumed up, right? So, next time you get a penny, don't ignore it. Check the date, the mint mark, and look for errors. You never know, you might be holding a small fortune in your hands. And if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss out. Or trust me, you'll never look at spare change the same way again. Alright, folks, let's play a little game. If you've got some loose change lying around, grab a penny, any penny. Go ahead, I'll wait. Now, imagine that little copper coin could be worth over $1 million. Sounds crazy, right? Well, it's not as crazy as you think. Today, we're diving into the shocking world of rare coins, and more specifically, the 2003 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yep, a coin that most people wouldn't think twice about spending on a pack of gum could actually be worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. That's right, $1,100,000 for a single penny. So, how does an everyday coin become a collector's dream? What makes this particular penny so special? And most importantly, could you have one of these $1,000,000 coins sitting in your pocket right now? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, and trust me, you won't want to miss this. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 2003 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why it doesn't have a little letter like D for Denver, or S for San Francisco. Now, normally, that wouldn't mean much. But here's where things get interesting. Some of these pennies have extremely rare errors that make them incredibly valuable. We're talking about misprints, off-center strikes, double dies, and sometimes even pennies struck on the wrong type of metal. And when collectors get wind of these rare mistakes, they're willing to pay big bucks to add them to their collections. And now, you might be thinking, okay, that's cool and all, but how do I know if I've got a rare one? Great question. Let's break it down. Key features that make this penny worth a fortune. The $1 million jackpot. Some 2003 no-mint Mark pennies were struck with a double die error, meaning parts of Lincoln's face or the lettering on the coin appear slightly doubled. It's kind of like a blurry image but on a coin. If you spot this, you might just be holding a small fortune. The weirder, the better. Another rare variation happens when the coin wasn't properly centered in the press, causing the design to be off-kilter. The more dramatic the error, the higher the value. Some collectors love these odd-looking mistakes and will pay thousands, sometimes even millions, for them. In some rare cases, pennies get struck on the wrong type of metal planchet. If you have a 2003 Lincoln penny that's significantly lighter or heavier than normal, you might want to get it checked out. When I first got into coin collecting, I found a weird-looking penny in my change. I was convinced I had hit the jackpot. I spent hours squinting at it under a magnifying glass, comparing it to images online, and even taking it to a coin dealer. Turns out, it was just really, really dirty. But hey, you live and learn, right? And now, every time I get change, I always check my pennies, because you never know when you might stumble across one worth a fortune. Now, let's talk numbers. If you've got a regular 2003 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, it's worth, well, a penny. But if you have one of these rare error coins, you could be looking at some serious cash. Minor errors might sell for $50 to $500. Significant errors could go for $5,000 to $50,000, and that one legendary perfect condition error coin that recently sold for $1.1 million? That's what we're all hoping to find. Conclusion: so, next time you're about to toss a penny into a tip jar or leave it on the sidewalk, take a second look. Because that little copper coin could be the key to an unexpected windfall. And if you're lucky enough to find a rare 2003 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, well, let's just say you might be booking a vacation real soon. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about hidden treasures in your pocket change, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more rare coin tips coming your way, and who knows? The next video might just help you find another $1 million penny. Hey, have you ever found a penny on the ground and just walked right past it, thinking, meh, it's just a penny? Well, today, I'm about to make you rethink every penny you've ever seen, because somewhere out there, sitting in someone's change jar or lost between the couch cushions, there's a 1985 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny worth a jaw-dropping $1.2 million. Yep, you heard that right, over $1 million for a single penny. And the craziest part? It looks just like any other penny in your pocket right now. So, grab your piggy bank, shake out those old coat pockets, and let's dive into what makes this little copper coin so insanely valuable. Spoiler alert, you might just be rich and not even know it, alright? So let's break this down. Most pennies have a little letter under the date, like D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But some 1985 pennies? No letter at all. Just blank. And that's where the magic happens. This missing mint mark means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which usually adds no mint mark by default. But here's where things get interesting. Some of these coins were made with rare errors that make them insanely valuable. We're talking double die obverse, off-center strikes, and the ultimate jackpot, the wrong metal composition. If you find one of these rare error pennies in pristine condition, you're looking at a fortune. Wait. A penny made of the wrong metal? Yup. In 1982, the U.S. Mint switched from 95% copper pennies to mostly zinc with just a thin copper coating. But every now and then, a few pennies slip through with the wrong metal mix. If your 1985 penny somehow got made with more copper than intended, congratulations, you're now the proud owner of a tiny, round gold mine. Now, let me tell you something that still haunts me to this day. A few years ago, I was at a gas station, paying for my coffee. The cashier handed me some change, and I noticed an older-looking penny, kinda shinier than usual, a little thicker. And what did I do? I tossed it into the tip jar like a generous fool. A week later, I got into coin collecting and learned about valuable pennies. I went back to that gas station, stared at the tip jar like it held the meaning of life, but, of course, it was gone. Someone else had probably taken it, and who knows? Maybe they walked away with $1 million penny while I walked away with regret. Okay, so now you're probably digging through your couch cushions, but how do you know if you have the penny? Here's what to look for. First things first, check under the date. If there's no D or S, you're on the right track. Look for any doubling of the letters or design, an off-center strike, or an oddly thick rim. If you have a kitchen scale, weigh it. A normal 1985 penny should be 2.5 grams. But if it's closer to 3.1 grams, you might just have one of the rare copper ones. If you think you have a valuable one, don't just take a guess. Get it graded by PCGS or NGC, the top coin grading services. Because condition matters, a shiny, uncirculated 1985 penny is worth way more than a worn-out one that's been through a million vending machines. Let's talk numbers, because that's the fun part. Now we're talking hundreds to thousands of dollars. A 1985 penny with that rare copper composition? Well, the last known sale of one was over $1.20 million. That's a life-changing amount of money for something most people wouldn't even bother picking up off the sidewalk. Point 1. Pennies are not always just pennies. 2. Always check your change. Seriously, don't be like me. And 3. You might be sitting on $1 million coin right now without even knowing it. Go through your penny jar, check your old coin rolls, and if you find a 1985 no mint mark penny that seems different, get it checked. And if you want to hear more about rare coins worth big money, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and drop a comment if you've ever found a weird coin in your change. Who knows? Maybe your next cup of coffee is actually worth a mansion. Hey there, fellow coin collectors and curious minds. Have you ever dug through your spare change and wondered, could I be holding on to a fortune? Well, today, we're talking about a coin that might just make you scream, wait. What? That's right, the 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny. A tiny little copper coin that looks like any other, but if you've got the right one, it could be worth an eye-popping $1.3 million. That's not pocket change, that's life-changing money. I know what you're thinking. Come on, a penny worth over $1 million? That's got to be a myth. But nope. This isn't some urban legend, it's real, and I'm going to tell you exactly why this little penny is worth so much, how to spot it, and how to make sure you don't accidentally spend it on a pack of gum.so. If you've ever had a penny slip between your couch cushions, you might want to start digging. Let's get into it. Okay, so here's the deal. In 1968, pennies were being minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Normally, Philadelphia pennies don't have a mint mark, which is no big deal. But there's a very rare error where a San Francisco or Denver penny was struck without a mint mark. That's where things get interesting. These error coins weren't supposed to exist, but a few slipped through the cracks. And because they're so rare, collectors are willing to pay a fortune for them. Nobody in 1968 was thinking, oh yeah, let me save this penny because it'll be worth $1 million one day. No, people were too busy listening to the Beatles and trying to figure out how bell-bottoms were considered fashionable. But fast forward to today, and if you have one of these rare error coins in great condition, you might just be holding onto the jackpot. How to identify the $1 million penny? So, how do you know if your 1968 penny is the golden ticket? Here's what to look for. This is the big one. If your penny has an S or D below the date, it's just a regular 1968 penny. But if there's nothing there, keep reading. The sharper the details, the better. If you can see Lincoln's hair strands clearly and the text is crisp, you might have a high-grade coin. Scratches, dents, or heavy wear can lower the value. If your penny looks like it's been through a washing machine 5 times, it's probably not worth millions. If you think you've got a winner, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll verify its authenticity and assign it a grade, which can skyrocket the value. Alright, let's talk money. The highest recorded auction sale for a 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln penny hit $1.3 million. That's more than a mansion in some places, for a penny, but let's keep things realistic. Even if yours isn't the $1 million version, it could still be worth hundreds or even thousands depending on the condition. A worn-out version might get you $50 to $100, while a well-preserved one could fetch $10,000 or more. Now, let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I was at a flea market, just casually browsing, when I saw an old coin jar on a table. The seller was an older gentleman who clearly had no idea what he was sitting on. I asked him how much for the whole jar, and he shrugged. $5. I took it home, poured out the coins, and guess what was sitting there shining like a beacon of hope? A 1968 no-mint mark penny in near-perfect condition. Now, before you get too excited, no, it wasn't the $1 million version. But it was still worth around $3,000. Not bad for a $5 jar of random change, right? He told me he almost gave the jar away for free just to get rid of it. Imagine if he knew what he had. Always check your change. You never know when you might be holding onto a hidden gem, but if you think you've got a rare 1968 no-mint mark penny, here's what you should do next. Compare your penny with verified examples online. Not if you're listing it for sale, high-quality pictures are key. Get it appraised. Coin dealers and grading services can confirm its value. Online auction sites like eBay, Heritage Auctions, or even local coin shops are great places to sell. Just watch out for lowball offers, that even the smallest, most overlooked coins can be worth a fortune. The next time you get a handful of change, don't just toss it aside, inspect those pennies. Who knows? You might just find your own $1 million treasure. And if you enjoyed this video and want more insider tips on valuable coins, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. I post videos on rare finds, coin collecting tips, and how to spot valuable treasures hiding in plain sight. Also, let me know in the comments, have you ever found a rare coin? Or do you have a crazy story about a coin that got away? I'd love to hear it. Hey there, coin lovers. Have you ever found a random penny in your pocket and thought, meh, just 1 cent? Well, hold on to your seats because today, we're talking about a 2017 Lincoln penny that's worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. Yep, that little copper coin in your change jar might just be your golden ticket. Come on, a 2017 penny? That's practically new. How can it be worth so much? Well, my friend, stick around because I'm about to break it all down, the errors, the rare details, and what makes this tiny treasure so insanely valuable. And hey, if you've got a stack of pennies lying around, you might want to start checking them right now. Before we dive in, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at a gas station, and I got a handful of change back. Normally, I wouldn't even look at it, but that day, I had a weird feeling. I glanced down and saw a super shiny 2017 penny. I almost tossed it in the cup holder, but something made me take a closer look. Fast forward a few Google searches later, and boom, I realized I could have been holding one of the rarest pennies out there. Unfortunately, mine wasn't the one, but that moment changed everything. Now, I check my change religiously, and after today, you will too. First things first, why is a 2017 penny even worth this much? After all, millions of them were minted, so what's the big deal? Well, it all comes down to errors and rare variations. The most valuable 2017 Lincoln pennies have specific mistakes that happened during the minting process, and those errors turn an ordinary 1-cent coin into a millionaire's dream. Here are some of the key things to look for. This is when the design on the coin is slightly doubled, making the text or Lincoln's face look a little blurry or shadowed. If you see extra thickness on Liberty or In God We Trust, you might have hit the jackpot. Sometimes, a coin is struck off-center, meaning part of the design is missing or looks misaligned. The more dramatic the error, the higher the value. Some off-center 2017 pennies have sold for thousands of dollars. A cut is when part of the coin's design has extra metal from a damaged die. These errors can make a simple penny incredibly rare and valuable. If your penny has strange bumps or cracks in the design, don't ignore it. Some 2017 pennies were accidentally struck on a dime planchet, making them thinner, lighter, and completely unique. If your penny feels or looks off, get it checked. Now, let's talk about the big sale. One of these error coins sold at auction for $1.4 million. Imagine turning a single penny into life-changing money. That's why coin collecting is so exciting. Sometimes, the rarest treasures are hiding in plain sight. So, now you're probably digging through your couch cushions, right? Well, here's how to check if you have a valuable 2017 D penny. Seriously, even a cheap one will help you see tiny errors that the naked eye might miss. A regular penny should weigh about 2.5 grams. If yours is significantly lighter or heavier, it might be an error coin. Look up images of known rare 2017 D errors online and compare them to your penny. If you spot something unusual, it's time to get an expert opinion. If you think you have something special, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can officially authenticate your coin and tell you how much it's worth. Conclusion: so, next time you get change at the store, check your pennies. That little copper coin could be worth a life-changing amount of money. And hey, even if you don't find $1 million penny right away, the thrill of the hunt is totally worth it. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on valuable coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I post regularly about rare finds, coin collecting strategies, and how to turn your pocket change into serious cash. Also, drop a comment below. Have you ever found a valuable coin in your change? I'd love to hear your stories. Hey, what's up, coin lovers? Have you ever checked your pocket change and thought, it's just a penny, not even worth bending down for? Well, you might want to rethink that. Because today, we're talking about a single 2004 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny that sold for a jaw-dropping $1.50 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A penny, worth more than a luxury car, a house, or even your student loans, and let's be honest, that's saying something. So, how does an ordinary-looking penny end up being worth a fortune? Is it magic? A government secret? Or just pure luck? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might be running to your coin jar with a magnifying glass. And make sure to hit that subscribe button because I'll be dropping more money-making coin secrets that could turn your spare change into serious cash. Alright, let's get into it. A while back, I was at a flea market, digging through an old tin of coins, because that's what coin nerds like me do, and this guy next to me picks up a penny. Just a regular OL 2004 penny, no shine, no special markings, and he goes, "Man, not worth anything." He tosses it back like it's a piece of lint. Little did he know, if it had been a rare error variety, he could have been sitting on a life-changing payday. And that, my friends, is why you always check your change. Alright, so let's talk about what makes the 2004 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny such a big deal. Normally, a 2004 penny would have either a D for Denver or a P for Philadelphia. But some coins slip through the cracks with no mint mark at all, making them incredibly rare. Now, what really sets some of these pennies apart isn't just the missing mint mark, it's also about errors. Some of these valuable pennies were struck on the wrong metal planchet, which means they don't have the usual copper zinc composition. Instead, they were struck on silver-colored planchets, which were never meant for pennies. These mistakes happen when planchets from other coins, like dimes or foreign currency, accidentally get mixed in during the minting process. And when that happens, you get a super rare, highly collectible coin that can sell for insane amounts at auction. Alright, so now you're probably thinking, okay, but how do I know if I have one of these golden tickets in my piggy bank? First things first, flip your penny over and check under the date. If there's no D or P mint mark, you might be onto something. If your penny looks a little too shiny or has a silver or darker tone, it might have been struck on the wrong planchet. That's a huge red flag, or green flag, if you're thinking about the money. A normal 2004 penny weighs 2.5 grams. If yours is heavier or lighter, that's another sign that it could be an error coin. You'll need a digital scale for this, and trust me, it's worth the $10 investment. Some of these rare pennies also have doubling on the letters or Lincoln's face. If you see any blurry or doubled details, congratulations, you just hit the jackpot. The 2004 no-mint Mark penny in pristine condition with these rare errors was auctioned for a whopping $1.5 million. The reason? Well, collectors go nuts over these kinds of mistakes. They're willing to shell out ridiculous amounts of money for a one-of-a-kind coin. If only a few of these exist in the world, and you happen to own one, you basically have a tiny treasure in your hands. And trust me, when two rich collectors want the same coin, prices skyrocket faster than gas prices in the summer. Could you be holding onto $1 million penny right now? If you've got any 2004 pennies lying around, go check them. Look for that missing mint mark, weigh them, and if you spot anything unusual, you might be sitting on a small fortune. And hey, even if your penny isn't worth $1,000,000, it's still fun to search. Who knows? Maybe you'll stumble upon another rare coin along the way. If you found this video helpful, or if you're already digging through your couch cushions, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want more tips on valuable coins, hidden treasures, and ways to turn spare change into serious cash, subscribe to the channel. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, where we uncover the hidden treasures in your pocket change. You're digging through some old change, maybe in your car, under the couch cushions, or in that random kitchen drawer where pennies seem to multiply. You pick up a 1996 Lincoln penny and think, it's just a penny. But hold on. What if I told you that this very coin could be worth up to $1.6 million? Yep, you heard me right, $1.6 million for a single penny. Now, before you start flipping over every penny you own, let's dive into what makes this 1996 Lincoln penny so valuable, what errors or features to look for, and how you can cash in if you hit the jackpot. Trust me, you won't want to miss this, so stick around. Alright, so the 1996 Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, hence the little D mint mark under the date. Now, normally, these pennies aren't rare. In fact, the US Mint cranked out over 6.5 billion of them. That's billion with a B. So what makes some of them worth more than, well, a penny? It all comes down to rare errors, unique features, and pristine condition. What to look for? Some 1996 pennies have rare minting mistakes that make collectors go wild. Let's talk about a few. This happens when the design is accidentally stamped twice, making parts of Lincoln's face, the lettering, or even the date look blurry or doubled. If you spot this, you might be holding a goldmine. Some 1996 pennies were struck off-center, meaning the design is misaligned. The more extreme the error, the more valuable the coin. Imagine a penny being accidentally struck on a dime's planchet, the metal disc used to make coins. This mistake makes the penny weigh less than normal and look a little odd. If you find one, congratulations, you're in for a payday. Even if your 1996 penny doesn't have errors, it could still be worth thousands if it's in near-perfect condition. Coins graded MS67 or higher, that's mint state, folks, sell for insane amounts at auctions. And now, let's get to the juicy part. Why are some 1996 pennies fetching insane prices? The truth is, while most 1996 pennies are only worth face value, a few have sold for mind-blowing amounts. In a recent auction, one pristine, error-laden 1996 penny shocked collectors by selling for $1.60 million. Someone probably used this coin to buy gum or tossed it into a wishing fountain, not realizing it could buy them a mansion. Life's funny like that, and that's why coin collecting is so fascinating. Hidden treasures are everywhere. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at a garage sale and picked up a dusty old coin album for $5. I figured, why not? Maybe there's something cool inside. When I got home, I flipped through the pages and boom, there it was, a 1996 penny with a weird doubling effect on Lincoln's face. My heart started racing. Could this be the big one? I rushed to a coin dealer faster than I've ever moved in my life. The guy examined it, squinted, and said, it's interesting, but not the rare one. My dreams of retiring early were crushed, but he did offer me $50 for it, which isn't bad for a penny I technically got for a few cents. Moral of the story? Always check your change. Alright, folks, now that you know what to look for, go dig through your pennies. Check for those errors, see if you have one in mint condition, and who knows? You might be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it, and if you don't find a rare one, don't worry, coin hunting is just as much about the thrill as it is about the payday. Before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos on rare and valuable coins. I've got plenty more tips coming your way on coins that could change your life. Also, if you've ever found a valuable coin, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your stories. Hey there, coin lovers. Imagine this, you're digging through your couch cushions, hoping to find some spare change for a coffee. Instead, you pull out a regular OL penny only to realize that this tiny copper coin could be worth $1.70 million. Yeah, you heard that right. That's not just coffee money, that's buy a house money. Today, we're diving into the 2006 Lincoln penny and why it's got collectors going absolutely crazy. Is it a rare error? A minting mistake? Or just pure luck? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just be checking every penny in your pocket. And hey, if you love finding money where you least expect it, hit that subscribe button for more coin hunting tips. So, what makes the 2006 D Lincoln penny so special? I mean, it looks like any other penny, right? Same old Honest Abe staring off into the distance, same reverse with the Lincoln Memorial. But there's something sneaky about this particular coin that sets it apart. The D on this penny means it was minted in Denver. But here's where it gets interesting: some of these pennies were struck with a unique die error. This means the coin has tiny imperfections that make it one of a kind. And when it comes to rare coins, one of a kind means big bucks. Double dies, off-center strikes, missing details. Think of it like baseball cards. Sure, regular ones are cool, but if you find one with a misprint, suddenly, it's worth a fortune. Now, let's talk about that jaw-dropping price tag. A rare 2006 D penny was recently valued at $1.7 million at auction. Imagine trying to pay for a pack of gum with a penny and the cashier just stares at you like, "Dude, you just handed me a Lumbo." So why is this penny so valuable? It all comes down to demand and rarity. Only a few of these rare pennies exist, and serious collectors are willing to shell out crazy amounts of money just to get their hands on one. Alright, so you're probably wondering, how do I know if my 2006 D penny is worth millions? Good question. Here's what to look for. Do the details on Lincoln's face seem extra bold or doubled? That could be a double die error. Off-center strikes. If the design looks shifted or off balance, you might be onto something big. Weird coloring or weight. Some of these pennies were accidentally struck on the wrong metal, making them way more valuable. And don't worry if you don't have a magnifying glass, just use your phone camera and zoom in. Technology for the win. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I found an old jar of pennies in my grandma's attic. She told me, "They're just pennies, don't waste your time." But I was curious. I started looking through them, and guess what? I found a 1972 double die penny worth $600. Not quite a million, but hey, that was the easiest money I ever made. Checking your spare change is worth it. You never know what's hiding in plain sight. Alright, folks, let's wrap this up. The 2006 D Lincoln penny might just be sitting in your piggy bank, waiting to change your life. If you've got one, check it closely, because that tiny coin might just be your ticket to a small fortune. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I've got tons more coin hunting tips, rare finds, and ways to turn your pocket change into serious cash. Now, go check your pennies and let me know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin. Hey, coin hunters! Ever found a penny on the ground and thought, "Meh, just a penny"? Well, what if I told you that one little penny could be worth $1.8 million? Yeah, you heard that right. Today, we're talking about the 1978 D Lincoln penny. Yes, the one you probably ignored, tossed in a jar, or used to scratch a lottery ticket. Turns out, that tiny copper coin might just be your winning ticket. Now, before you start dumping out your piggy bank and flipping over couch cushions, let's dive into what makes this penny so valuable, how to spot one, and why people are paying ridiculous amounts of money for it. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. Alright, let's break it down. The 1978 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver. You can tell by the little D right below the year. At first glance, it looks like any other penny. It's got Honest Abe chilling on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back, nothing too fancy, right? But here's where things get interesting. Some of these pennies were struck with rare errors, special die varieties, or even unusual metal compositions that make collectors go wild. And when coin collectors get wild, prices skyrocket. We're talking auctions where people bid more money than my car is worth on a single penny. What to look for in your 1978 D penny? So, how do you know if you've got one of these jackpot pennies? Here's what you need to check. Some 1978 D pennies have doubling on the lettering or even Abe's face. If your penny looks like Lincoln had a little too much coffee and started vibrating in place, congratulations, you might have a rare double die penny. If the design looks off balance or part of it is missing, that's an error coin. And error coins equals big bucks. Here's a crazy fact: most pennies from 1978 are made of copper, but a few were accidentally struck on nickel or silver planchets. If your penny doesn't look like a normal copper penny, it's time to get it checked out. A 1978 D penny in pristine, shiny condition can be worth thousands. A regular one might only get you face value, but hey, still better than nothing. Now, let's talk numbers. A standard 1978 D penny in circulated condition? probably a few cents. But if you find one with rare errors or in mint condition, it could be worth anywhere from a few $100s to get this $1.8 million. Well, high-grade coins with perfect details are super rare. Add in a cool minting mistake, and collectors go into full-on treasure hunting mode. Just recently, one of these coins sold at auction for a jaw-dropping 7 figures. Imagine paying off your house with a penny. Alright, time for a quick story. A few years back, I found a 1978 penny in an old jar of coins. I got all excited, grabbed my magnifying glass, and started inspecting it like Sherlock Holmes. Turns out, it was just a regular penny. Heartbreaking, but that moment got me hooked on coin collecting. I started researching, checking every penny I came across, and eventually, I found a different rare coin worth over $500. Not a million, but hey, not bad for something I got as change at a gas station. Moral of the story? Always check your pennies, because you never know, so next time you see a penny on the ground, don't just walk past it. That tiny little coin could be a hidden fortune waiting to be discovered. The 1978 Lincoln penny is proof that sometimes, the smallest things hold the biggest surprises. And now, if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and crazy coin stories coming your way. And hey, if you've ever found a rare coin, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story.